Imagine a world where every word of criticism feels like a stepping stone rather than a stumbling block. A realm where negative feedback fuels your growth rather than shaking your confidence. In today's video, we're diving deep into the ancient wisdom of Stoicism to unlock the secrets of handling criticism with grace, composure, and strength. This isn't just about becoming resilient, it's about transforming criticism into a tool for personal growth. If you've ever felt crushed by negative feedback or struggle to keep your cool when facing harsh words, stay with us. By the end of this video, you'll see criticism in a whole new light, a light that will guide you towards becoming your best self. Let's uncover the Stoic secrets that will change how you handle any criticism thrown your way. At the core of Stoicism lies the belief that we cannot control external events, but we can control our responses to them. The ancient Stoics recognized that our emotions often arise not from the events themselves, but from our judgments about them. This insight is crucial when dealing with criticism and negative feedback. Imagine someone tells you that your work is subpar. The initial sting you feel comes not from the words themselves, but from the meaning you attach to them. You might interpret this criticism as a personal attack, which in turn triggers feelings of inadequacy or anger. But what if you could detach from that emotional reaction? What if you could see the criticism not as a threat, but as an opportunity? The Stoics teach us to practice what they call the dichotomy of control. This concept reminds us that there are things within our control and things outside of it. Criticism in itself is outside your control. You cannot dictate what others think or say about you. However, how you react to that criticism is entirely within your control. By focusing on this internal locus of control, you empower yourself to respond in a way that aligns with your values and long-term goals, rather than being swept away by your emotions. Let's look at how the great Stoic philosopher Epictetus approached criticism. Epictetus was born into slavery and faced numerous hardships throughout his life. Despite this, he became one of the most influential Stoic thinkers. He famously said, "It is not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters." When faced with criticism, Epictetus would advise you to pause and reflect on whether the criticism is true. If it is, you should embrace it as a chance to improve. If it's not, you should simply disregard it. Either way, your peace of mind remains intact. Picture this: you receive harsh feedback from your boss or a colleague. Instead of reacting defensively, you take a deep breath and ask yourself, is there truth in this feedback? If the answer is yes, you've just identified an area for growth. This doesn't mean you should beat yourself up. Instead, see it as a chance to refine your skills or behavior. If the feedback is unfounded, remind yourself that it reflects the other person's perspective, not an absolute truth about you. This approach requires humility and a willingness to learn, both of which are pillars of Stoic practice. Marcus Aurelius, another iconic Stoic, offers further guidance. In his Meditations, he writes, "If you are distressed by anything external, the pain is not due to the thing itself, but to your estimate of it, and this you have the power to revoke at any moment." This quote is a powerful reminder that our interpretations shape our emotional responses. When criticized, your initial reaction might be to feel hurt or angry. But what if you immediately challenge that reaction? What if you ask yourself, is this worth my peace of mind? Often, you'll find that the answer is no. Let's explore a practical example. Suppose you've just presented a project to your team, and one of your peers criticizes your approach in a harsh manner. The initial wave of emotion might be embarrassment or defensiveness. However, by applying Stoic principles, you can pause and evaluate the situation. Ask yourself, is this criticism valid? Does it highlight an area where I can improve? If yes, then the criticism is actually a gift. If not, it's simply another person's opinion, and you are free to let it go. The Stoics also emphasize the importance of understanding the source of criticism. Seneca, a Roman Stoic philosopher, suggested that we consider the critic's perspective. Is this person speaking from a place of knowledge or ignorance? Are they trying to help? Or are they projecting their own insecurities? By analyzing the source, you can better determine how to respond or whether a response is even necessary. For instance, if the criticism comes from someone who lacks understanding of your situation or motives, you might choose to dismiss it without letting it affect you emotionally. On the other hand, if the critique comes from someone whose opinion you respect and who has valuable insights, you might decide to heed their advice and make adjustments. This discernment is key to maintaining your inner peace while still being open to growth opportunities. Now, let's talk about one of the most challenging aspects of dealing with criticism: the emotional response. Even with all the Stoic wisdom in the world, it's natural to feel an emotional reaction when criticized, especially when the critique feels unjust or overly harsh. The Stoics didn't deny this aspect of human nature. Instead, they advised us to acknowledge our emotions without letting them control us. This practice is often referred to as cultivating an observer's mind. When you feel that surge of emotion, try to step back and observe it as if you were watching it happen to someone else. This doesn't mean suppressing your feelings, but rather understanding them without becoming overwhelmed by them. For example, imagine you've just received a scathing review of your work. Your heart races, and you feel a mix of anger and sadness. Instead of reacting immediately, take a moment to observe these feelings. What are they telling you? Perhaps the anger comes from a place of pride. You care deeply about your work and want it to be appreciated. The sadness might stem from a fear of not being good enough. Recognizing these emotions allows you to address the underlying concerns without being consumed by them. You can then choose to respond in a way that is measured and aligned with your values, rather than lashing out or retreating in defeat. Another powerful Stoic technique for dealing with criticism is the practice of premeditatio malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This involves mentally preparing yourself for potential challenges before they occur. By anticipating criticism or negative feedback, you can lessen its impact when it arrives. For instance, before presenting a project, you might spend a few moments considering what critiques could arise. By doing so, you're not inviting negativity, but rather readying yourself to face it with composure. When the feedback comes, it won't catch you off guard, and you'll be better equipped to handle it constructively. Let's consider a scenario where you've prepared for a big presentation. You've used premeditatio malorum to anticipate potential critiques. Perhaps someone will question your data sources, or another might find fault with your conclusions. When these criticisms surface, instead of feeling blindsided, you're able to calmly address each point. You might say, "I anticipated this question, and here's how I arrived at my conclusion." Or, "Understand your concern, and I'm open to discussing alternative viewpoints." This approach not only demonstrates your preparedness, but also shows that you are not easily rattled by criticism. Stoicism also teaches us the value of detachment. This doesn't mean becoming indifferent or emotionless, but rather not allowing external events to dictate your inner state. Marcus Aurelius often reminded himself that the opinions of others are not within his control. He wrote, "We all love ourselves more than other people, but care more about their opinion than our own." This quote highlights the paradox many of us face. We prioritize others' judgments over our own self-assessment. Stoicism encourages us to reverse this tendency by placing more value on our own principles and less on the fleeting opinions of others. Imagine you've poured your heart into a creative project, only to have it dismissed by a critic. It's easy to let their words undermine your confidence, but through Stoic detachment, you can remind yourself that your worth isn't tied to others' opinions. Instead, it's anchored in your own values and efforts. You might think, "I've done my best according to my abilities and integrity. Their opinion is just one perspective and does not diminish my effort or value." By detaching from the need for external validation, you free yourself from the emotional turbulence that often accompanies criticism. One of the most empowering aspects of Stoicism is its emphasis on viewing challenges as opportunities. This mindset can be particularly transformative when applied to criticism. Instead of dreading negative feedback, Stoics encourage us to see it as a chance to grow stronger, wiser, and more resilient. Epictetus believed that every difficulty we face is an opportunity to practice virtue. So, when you receive criticism, Consider it a moment to practice patience, humility, or understanding. Each piece of feedback, whether fair or harsh, is a chance to refine your character. Let's take a real-world example. You've been working on a new skill, like public speaking, and after your first presentation, the feedback you receive is less than favorable. Instead of feeling discouraged, you can adopt the Stoic perspective and see this as a valuable learning opportunity. Ask yourself, what can I learn from this experience? How can I use this feedback to improve? By reframing the situation in this way, you shift from a mindset of defeat to one of growth. Perhaps the critique highlights areas where your delivery could be stronger or where your content could be clearer. Embrace this as a chance to hone your skills, knowing that every piece of constructive criticism is like a chisel, sculpting you into a more polished version of yourself. Another important Stoic practice is the cultivation of ataraxia, or inner tranquility. This state of calm equilibrium is achieved by not allowing external events, including criticism, to disturb your inner peace. Seneca often wrote about the importance of maintaining a serene mind, regardless of what happens around you. He suggested that true strength lies not in never facing adversity, but in remaining unshaken by it. When you receive criticism, you can practice ataraxia by reminding yourself that your peace of mind is your most precious asset, and it's not worth surrendering to someone else's opinion. Picture this. You're in a heated meeting, and a colleague harshly criticizes your ideas in front of everyone. The room feels tense, and all eyes are on you. In this moment, instead of reacting impulsively, you take a deep breath and center yourself. You recall the Stoic principle of ataraxia and decide that no external event, including this public criticism, is worth compromising your inner calm. You respond calmly and thoughtfully, perhaps thanking your colleague for their input and suggesting a follow-up discussion to explore their concerns further. This approach not only preserves your peace of mind, but also demonstrates maturity and composure to those around you. It's also beneficial to consider the Stoic practice of sympathia, the idea that we are all interconnected, and that understanding others' perspectives can foster compassion. When someone criticizes you, it can be helpful to remember that they, too, are human, with their own struggles, fears, and insecurities. Their criticism might stem from a place of stress, misunderstanding, or even their own experiences of being criticized. By practicing sympathia, you can approach criticism with empathy, understanding that the person offering it is also navigating their own challenges. For example, if a friend criticizes you in a way that feels harsh or unwarranted, instead of reacting defensively, you might consider what might be motivating their words. Perhaps they're going through a tough time, and their stress is spilling over into their interactions with you. By recognizing this, you can respond with kindness and avoid taking their words personally, which helps maintain both your relationship and your own inner peace. Throughout all these practices, one of the most empowering Stoic concepts is the idea of amor fati, or the love of fate. This principle encourages us to embrace everything that happens to us, including criticism, as necessary parts of our journey, rather than wishing things were different. Amor fati invites us to accept and even love our fate, seeing every experience as essential to our growth. When you receive criticism, amor fati reminds you to welcome it as a valuable part of your life's path, something that will ultimately contribute to your development and success. Let's say you've been criticized for a mistake you made at work. Instead of dwelling on the mistake or wishing it hadn't happened, you can practice amor fati by accepting it fully. You might think, this mistake and the feedback I received are exactly what I need to learn and grow. By embracing the situation, you remove the emotional resistance that often accompanies criticism and open yourself up to the lessons it has to offer. This mindset transforms criticism from something to be feared into something to be appreciated. Now that we've explored these Stoic principles, let's talk about how to implement them in your daily life. The first step is to start small. The next time you receive criticism, challenge yourself to pause before reacting. Take a moment to breathe, reflect on the validity of the feedback, and decide how you want to respond. Remember the dichotomy of control. Focus on what you can control, which is your response, and let go of what you cannot, which is the criticism itself. Another practical tip is to build a routine of reflective journaling, a practice that both Marcus Aurelius and Seneca found invaluable. After receiving criticism, write about the experience. What emotions did it trigger? How did you respond? How might you apply Stoic principles to handle similar situations in the future? This reflection not only helps you process the criticism, but also strengthens your ability to respond stoically over time. Additionally, consider adopting a daily meditation practice focused on gratitude and acceptance. Spend a few minutes each morning reflecting on the things you're grateful for, including the challenges you face. This practice can enhance your sense of resilience and prepare you to face criticism with a more balanced and appreciative mindset. By starting your day with gratitude, you set a positive tone that can help you remain centered and composed when faced with negativity. Acceptance, on the other hand, helps you recognize that criticism is a natural part of life and that it serves a purpose in your personal growth. This combination of gratitude and acceptance strengthens your ability to approach criticism with a calm and open mind. Consider also cultivating a supportive network of friends, mentors, or colleagues who understand and value the principles of Stoicism. These individuals can serve as sounding boards when you receive criticism, helping you to see the situation more objectively and offering constructive advice on how to respond. Surrounding yourself with people who share your commitment to personal growth and emotional resilience can reinforce your Stoic practices and provide you with the encouragement needed to maintain your composure in challenging situations. It's also important to practice self-compassion alongside Stoic principles. While Stoicism emphasizes rationality and emotional control, it's essential to be kind to yourself, especially when you're processing criticism. Acknowledge that it's okay to feel hurt or disappointed, but don't let those emotions define your response. Self-compassion allows you to treat yourself with the same kindness and understanding that you would offer to a friend in a similar situation. This balance between self-discipline and self-compassion is key to maintaining your emotional well-being. Another effective strategy is to develop a mantra or affirmation that you can repeat to yourself when faced with criticism. This could be something like, "I control my response, not others' opinions," or "Criticism is a tool for growth, not a reflection of my worth." Repeating this mantra during difficult moments can help ground you in Stoic principles and remind you of your commitment to responding with calmness and clarity. Finally, it's crucial to remember that Stoicism is a lifelong practice. No one becomes perfectly Stoic overnight, and that's okay. Every time you face criticism, you have an opportunity to practice these principles and strengthen your Stoic mindset. There will be times when you react emotionally or feel disheartened by negative feedback, but each of these moments is a chance to learn and grow. Over time, as you continue to apply Stoic wisdom, you'll find that criticism affects you less and less, and that your responses become more measured, thoughtful, and aligned with your values. Let's recap what we've covered. We started by exploring the Stoic concept of the dichotomy of control, emphasizing that while you can't control the criticism you receive, you can control how you respond to it. We discussed the importance of evaluating the validity of the criticism, practicing detachment, and viewing each piece of feedback as an opportunity for growth. We also delved into techniques like premeditatio malorum, ataraxia, and amor fati, which help you anticipate challenges, maintain inner tranquility, and embrace all experiences as part of your journey. We also touched on the importance of empathy and understanding the critic's perspective, which can help you respond with compassion rather than defensiveness. Additionally, we discussed practical steps you can take to incorporate Stoic principles into your daily life, such as reflective journaling, meditation, building a supportive network, practicing self-compassion, and using mantras. By adopting these Stoic practices, you'll develop a resilient mindset that allows you to handle criticism with grace and composure. Instead of seeing criticism as a threat to your self-esteem, you'll begin to view it as a valuable tool for personal growth. This shift in perspective will not only help you improve in areas where you may have weaknesses, but will also strengthen your emotional resilience, enabling you to navigate life's challenges with greater ease and confidence. As you continue on your Stoic journey, remember that every piece of criticism you receive is an opportunity to practice and refine your response. With each experience, you'll grow stronger, more self-aware, and more capable of maintaining your inner peace, no matter what others may say. This is the true power of Stoicism, a power that lies within you, waiting to be cultivated and unleashed. Now, as we conclude this video, I want to leave you with a challenge. The next time you receive criticism, whether it's from a friend, a colleague, or even a stranger online, take a moment to pause and reflect on what we've discussed today. Apply the Stoic principles we've explored, and see how it changes your response. Share your experience in the comments below. I'd love to hear how Stoicism is helping you transform your relationship with criticism. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more insights on Stoicism and personal growth. We're building a community of like-minded individuals who are committed to becoming the best versions of themselves, and we'd love for you to be a part of it. Plus, if we reach 5,000 likes on this video, I'll create a special follow-up video on how to discover your financial code using numerology, which could open up new paths to success in both your personal and professional life. So, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to stay updated on new content, and share your thoughts or experiences with criticism in the comments below. Your journey towards a Stoic mindset and emotional resilience starts now, and I'm here to support you every step of the way. Thank you for watching, and remember, every challenge, including criticism, is an opportunity for growth. Let's embrace it together. See you in the next video.